What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Friday, October 4th. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a sports reporter based out of Minnesota here, as y'all can see, my Minnesota Twins hat. I'm also in sales, and I'm also a proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I like to bring individuals on to talk about their why of why they do what they do and who they are outside of their occupation. I got a special guest that's coming on with me today. Her name is Cortney Danielle Moore. She is also a reporter. She's a hospitality reporter that is reporting for the South Business Journal in Miami, or South Miami Business Journal, I should say. She reports on tourism and travel, and she's been doing that for the past couple of years. She has an abundance of experience reporting in this industry. So we're going to talk to her about her why of why she got into journalism and get to know her a little bit. So without any further ado, I introduce to you the wonderful, talented, and beautiful Courtney. Hello there. How we doing?
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Just want to say first off, you look absolutely lovely tonight. And
Thank
just want
you.
you're very welcome. And I also want to say thank you for hopping on my podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder. I really do appreciate that. How's your week going so far?
Good. Just wrapped up some work, and then this is probably my highlight of the night. I don't often get people asking me questions about the stuff I do, so this is going to be interesting.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is one of the main reasons why I wanted to start a podcast like this is because not only to get to know people, network with people, but to also get a little bit behind the scenes, right? It's a lot of the times where we're reporters, where we go up to people, we interview them, and we are advocates for the people out there in the public, and we tell the stories. We write the stories, right? But everybody has a story within a story. And, I would love to hear yours. And that's why I have a slew full of questions here that's going to hopefully bring that out. So for sure, Courtney, as I always do, I'll start my first question off the same way with every guest that I have on my podcast, and that is, what is your why? What is your why of doing what you do and getting into the journalism business? Did you have any role models growing up? Did you have any inspirations of people that you wanted to emulate your career after? What was your why of getting into the journalism business?
Okay, yeah, I think I got to take this all the way back to high school, because the high school I went to was a trade school. It's called the High School of Fashion Industries in New York, and that was my major, fashion design, and I did that all 4 years. And
Right.
after doing that, at least I did that, got that out of the way before college, because I kind of at the end of my senior year realized that's not what I wanted to do. But
Right.
they make us make this big decision at like 17, 18, and I had to figure out what I wanted to do real quick.
Absolutely.
And I guess one day I was just watching E! News and the Style Network back when that was a thing. And I'd say my inspiration was Juliana Rancic, back when there was Fashion Police. And then there was Jeannie Mai. She used to host a show called How Do I Look? So I was like, this is kind of fashion adjacent. Let me go do something like that. And,
Okay.
that's kind of what started off like my interest in journalism. But as the years have gone on, I'm sure you've seen, I've covered all kinds of beats. I'm like a Barbie. I'm interested in everything.
Which is amazing, right? And that's a natural kind of journalistic type of feel, is what I want to say. I mean, when I was in college, I wanted to try everything. I love sports, but I also wanted to do entertainment. I also wanted to cover different events. I just didn't want to do sports, which is what I do now for the most part. But I wanted to try it all because I wanted to be able to see what I like and what I don't like, which is something I always tell the kids out here that I cover for high school and college. If you're going to do the journalistic route or communications route, understand there's a whole lot of different positions. You don't have to just box yourself into just one. You can do so many different things within this field. Try everything and see what you like and see what you don't like. So I like that
Mhm.
answer that you gave. That's pretty cool. I know you went to Hofstra University,
Yes.
no doubt. I want to know, were there any other schools that could have persuaded you from going to Hofstra?
Well, actually, did my associates at Borough of Manhattan Community College,
Sure.
and it holds a special place in my heart. Their slogan is actually "Start here, go anywhere," and I 100% believe in that slogan because, they didn't have a journalism program, so it was a little bit of a round-the-way path for me. I did programming, but I did that because I was like, oh, well, if you're going to do journalism, you probably need to know how to make your own website or something like that.
Sure.
So
Sure.
just rounded out my skills. But, I did that initially, and then I transferred to Hofstra, just because they have a really, really good journalism program. And, that I was only there for 3 semesters. I wish I could have been there longer, but, the way financial aid was going, I needed to get out there as soon as possible.
Feel that, Courtney. I definitely feel that. No question about it. Let me ask you, because are you from New York?
Yes, I am. So
Okay.
originally I'm from the Bronx. I don't know if you could tell that, but I am.
Well, no doubt. Listen, I have family out in Brooklyn, so I definitely understand. I've personally only been to New York City once, and fun fact before I get to this next question, the only time that I've been to New York City was on a megabus. Are you familiar with the megabus?
I am very.
Okay. Okay. So I was visiting family, going out there visiting family, and this was the first time that I ever touched down in New York City. So they dropped me off at 34th and 11th and 12th. I didn't know what the hell that was. I was to be honest with you. That was just too many numbers for me. I didn't know what that was at all. And it was super late when they did it because it was like one some in the morning, family was there, but it was the first time I was also introduced to street meat.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So are you? Familiar with the street meat, or do you eat that a lot when you was back there in New York?
No, not really. I'm kind of a picky eater. I
Mm,
won't say I'm a vegetarian, but I just have to like the way it looks and smells. I'm a little weird of like that. So, but I do like halal food. And
okay, okay. I'm with you on that. That's totally cool. Now let me ask you some favorite questions as I got lined up here. You just give me the 411 based upon some of those favorite questions that I have. Are you with me?
oh, absolutely.
All right. Let's rock. Favorite meal you like to cook?
Okay. So I'm going to be 100% transparent. I don't cook very often. My gracious husband does that for me because my schedule's kind of crazy.
Sure.
When I do cook, so most people they know it as empanadas, but like my Puerto Rican family, they pronounce it as empanadillas. And
Oh,
so I
okay.
don't know. Are you familiar with those?
No, but with the way you said it, I definitely want to be familiar with those. That's for
Okay.
sure.
I'm trying to think of a good way to explain it. It's kind of like, like a Jamaican beef patty, but like it's more like a half moon shape. So you have the dough, you put the filling, it could be like meat, cheese, whatever you want to do it. You close it, you
Mm.
press it with a fork, deep fry it. It's delicious.
Courtney, that sounds delicious. I'm not even gonna cap on that or even lie to you on that. That sounds delicious. That's what's up. I like that.
Awesome.
Favorite concert you've ever attended?
Okay. I've only been to two, and both of them weren't
Oh,
in English. So
mhm.
my favorite actually was a Taeyong concert. He's a Korean artist. I do like K-pop. It's just something I've been into, I guess, since I was a teenager. I think that's when it
Okay,
became really big, like in 26, well, a little bit before 2016. But yeah, I
okay.
saw him live. He sounds just like his recording. It was super impressive. He's from this really big, like, or it used to be a really big boy band before BTS and all those other groups came out.
Mm.
Called Big Bang. But yeah, if you ever have time and you're open to it, you should give him a listen.
Okay, now BTS is definitely somebody who I know. I
Oh yeah.
definitely know them for sure. They're very good, very good.
Yeah.
I would probably say my concert is definitely Jay-Z and Kanye. The
Oh
Watch
yeah.
the Throne tour from way back. Watch the Throne tour, no question. We talking, man, that was in Atlanta, and it was just so hyped because the undercard had Jeezy and
Mhm.
Trace.
Ooh.
So all of those artists in one card, that was dope. I love
Do you
that.
think they sound like their recordings?
Jeezy definitely did. Trey
Yeah.
Songz not so much. But obviously, Trey Songz, he sang a couple songs really good, but then you can tell that he was just out of breath. He was out of wind. He just really didn't. He couldn't deliver on every single
Mhm.
hit of his. But Jeezy, Kanye, and Jay, Yeah, they was on point. No question.
So.
No question about that. Okay, I like that. Favorite place you've ever traveled to, Courtney?
Ooh, well, yeah, I think my Instagram is filled with her right now. I love France. I'm obsessed. And it's not just because Emily in Paris is out, but it's just such a beautiful country. But if you asked me a couple years ago, I probably would have said Aruba. And, I went there twice, both in December. It's very, very funny going to a Caribbean island like during the holiday season because it's kind of like, super sunny, there's sand, it's
Right.
kind of like a deserty island. It's really weird, but they just have like Santa Clauses all around the place. It's a really like wacky juxtaposition that I just like love.
So my favorite place is Cabo San Lucas. I'm huge into like scenery, water, beautiful like beaches. I'm huge to that. So I love stuff like that. But I am going on a cruise in a couple of weeks,
Ooh,
so it
where
might
to?
change. Yeah, I'm sorry. What'd you say?
So where to?
Oh, so it's four different places. The MSC cruises is what the
Ooh,
cruise ship will be. But
okay.
the four places are Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, Bahamas, and Cozumel, Mexico. So those are the four
Nice.
stops. Yeah, right. So I would definitely have to let you know if my place changes as far as my favorite place I've
Please
ever been.
do.
So it's my
Yeah.
first cruise. I've never been on a cruise before, so it's my first one.
Okay. I hope that you have a great time. I hear MSC is a good one. I haven't been on it, but it's one of the fancier ships, so that's good.
Absolutely. Listen, if you're gonna do it big, you got to do it big. You know what I'm saying? So no question. Okay, two more of the favorites. Now, like I said, I'm a sports reporter, so I had to throw in a sports question here.
Okay.
Favorite sport you like to watch on TV? Favorite sport you like to attend in person? Can be the same sport.
Okay, I will say I know the Olympics just passed, but like gymnastics. That sport is magical and it looks impossible and just yeah, I would love to see that in person.
Okay, okay. And that is that also the sport you like to watch on TV?
Oh yes, absolutely. I wish
Okay.
I was more consistent with it, but the big one every 4 years is the Olympics, and that's where I feel like I catch up on it. I'm weirdly obsessed with it. It's kind of a family tradition.
Absolutely, and I'm hoping to see your face down there for the next Olympics that covering something. Obviously, the Olympics being in Los Angeles, which is absolutely great on United States, turf. I'm
Mm-hmm.
hoping I could be there too, because that would be amazing in
Oh,
2028 for
oh,
sure.
fingers crossed.
Absolutely, right? Last of the favorites. I know you currently down there in Miami, which is
Mhm.
actually or where I'm porting out of. I've
Ah,
never been to Miami before, but I'm actually coming down there in a couple of weeks, a couple of days early before I port. I want to know, is there any restaurant? What is your favorite restaurant there to eat at?
ooh, do you have like a kind of favorite cuisine maybe that could help me narrow it down?
Absolutely. I love a good steak. Sirloin, ribeye, steak is good. Any kind of meat. I know you're a vegetarian, and I apologize for that, but I
No,
love me.
I
I
do
love me
eat
some
meat
steak.
on occasion. It's just it has to be good.
You're right about that. You're
Yeah.
right about that. So good steak. Also, I'm an Italian person, Italian food lover. So I love Italian food as well.
Okay. There are a lot of options. Okay, I'm trying to like narrow it down in my brain. So if you like a French food, there's a restaurant here in it's called Brickell. It's like the financial district of Miami. It's called
Okay.
PM. So that's short for Le Petit Maison. They have really good steaks and then other stuff that you can throw in. I don't know if you're adventurous enough to try escargot, but it's very good as well. Um,
Okay. Okay.
and then in terms of Italian food, there is this restaurant called Osteria de Fortunata in Miami Beach on Lincoln Road. And that one's a
Right.
very, very authentic Italian restaurant. They have
Okay.
locations in Rome, Milan, and a couple other places in Italy. And honestly, like for the amount of money that you spend, food is absolutely delicious and worth it.
Absolutely. I am going to be touching down in Miami, like I said, in a couple of weeks. I definitely want to eat at one of those places for sure before I port onto the boat for the next 7 days because it's a 7 day cruise that I'll be going on. So definitely, if I touch down there, I'm going to have to hit you up. You're going to have to direct me, okay?
Absolutely. I'm gonna be thinking about that all weekend, pretty much, just coming up with a long list because there's tons of restaurants here.
Please, please do. Please. I would love that, Courtney. Let's get into your day to day. Now, as a journalist, at least for me, I know because now I'm more so on the freelance side than I was with a publication working for a couple of years, and then I also did some in Atlanta too. But we know as journalists, every day is different, right?
Mhm.
No day is never the same. That's one thing that's true. Another thing is true. We don't work conventional hours. So people that work 8 to 4, 9 to 5s, and 10 to 6s, they will not understand our schedule. They just don't get it because we cover stories and things happen at all different kind of times of the day. Talk to me about your day to day of being a hospitality journalist and being able to cover for your journal that you write for.
Yeah, absolutely. So every day is different. And I think I'm very, very fortunate and blessed to be in a market that's like very, very popular,
Oh yeah,
it's a giant tourism and travel destination. So it kind of makes my job easier. So there's always constantly restaurants that are opening. Sometimes it feels like I could barely keep up because I'm the only one
right,
covering it for my team. But yeah, between the restaurants and hotels, those are pretty like easy to write, and just got to load up, figure out like what we're going to do for the day, because I do also cover transportation and retail and other facets of hospitality. So we just like have to like divide it up because we can't just have restaurants all the time. So we have those easier turns, but then we also have like deeper dives that we try to get like exclusive on, which is like, like kind of like what any other journalist would do at like a regular like general reporter. Like you would search the county records, check like the county court of clerk, for any bankruptcy filings or anything
sure,
like that,
sure.
or warrant notices and so on. Those aren't my favorite to report on, but for business news, sometimes it is a necessary evil. But I try to always be fair, and you just upkeep of your sources pretty much. Sometimes you got to make extra phone calls and you're like, oh, I really don't want to because I have this deadline right now and I really just want to finish writing, and just have to take it one step at a time and really like, kind of master your time management to try to meet your deadlines and make everybody happy.
Absolutely. Sometimes you got to pivot too. I mean, you got to pivot because
Yeah.
sometimes those sources cancel on you last minute. Sometimes you got to be able to do different things and, have different story outlets and different things of that nature as well. And that's what I love about being a journalist is that not so much the canceling sources, but there's so much of the fact that it's not the same every single day. You're doing something different. You're doing something that you love to do, and you're storytelling. And I love that. It gives me a chance to talk to somebody and really listen to what their story is, or really be an advocate and talk about different hotels that you might like, different restaurants you might like, toury places that you might want to go, but also
Mhm.
talk about places that you might want to stay away from or it might be a little bit too expensive, right? Those
Yeah.
great articles that you love to write. Great segue though, Courtney, because I want to talk about mental health and work-life
Mhm.
balance. Right now, you said it at the top. You are married.
Mhm.
You have friends, right? And you seem like a very personable person to be around. There's no question about it. But you also work very hard in doing what you do. And we just talked about the hours being crazy. Tell me, how do you manage your work-life balance, but also still maintain good mental health? Because a lot of our colleagues experience burnout, overworked, and underpaid. Those are three main words that come up in our industry quite a bit.
Yeah. You say work-life balance, and I'm like, what's that? No, but I try. It's so different. Sometimes I feel like I say like you kind of grind in stages. So like right now I'm kind of in my grind mode. So it feels like I don't really take any time off. So it's like I do my regular work and then I do my own personal work that I'm, just building my own brand and so on. But then there's other times like, oh, I can take it easy and then watch some Netflix. And, I
Sure,
guess also being married does help. I have like a permanent friend that I can always talk to and vent with, if something comes up. It could be
I love it.
related or not, or like even I bounce off questions off of him. So he works in commercial real estate. So it does help me a lot. So sometimes like, I think I have the story straight and then I'll just like hey, like, let me consult you. You have the finance degree. Like, am I looking at this the right way? Like, am I being biased? Sometimes you got to question yourself and just have that gut check. So,
Absolutely.
just having somebody else on my team really helps, and also family and friends, kind of like what you mentioned. I think even after this, I'm gonna have to talk to my mom. She's like, "What podcast are you talking to?"
I love it. I love it. Now let me ask this bonus question because I love asking this question to especially us journalists. For me, it's a blessing to have friends that love sports as much as I do. I'm very passionate, but I also find myself at times wanting to not talk about sports because sometimes your friends want to just banter with you all the time about different sports that you write about and talk about.
Mhm.
Oh, well, you said this, you could be wrong here and this, that, or you said, you know what I mean? Like, it's very cool to have friends that kind of differentiate
Yes.
from what you cover on a day-to-day basis. Like sometimes I just like to come home and let's talk about music. Let's talk about life. Let's talk about another genre. Do you
Mhm.
find yourself coming home with your friends and saying, you know what, guys, I don't want to talk about the hotel or I don't want to talk about touristy stuff. I don't want to talk about a restaurant I ate at. Can we talk about something else? Do you ever find yourself doing that?
I do that from time to time. Hopefully, I suggest it nicely. Sometimes I think whenever I ask, they're like, "Oh, okay, you mean it. You're serious." So I don't know.
Right, right. Absolutely. No, I always love asking that question because, we love to do what we do, but we don't want to be on 24/7. Like we could talk about different things too. That's for sure. Once again, Courtney, this is a great segue because I want to talk to you about advice. If there was an individual, maybe a recent graduate down there or somebody who is postgraduate like myself, I kind of been in this industry for going on now 6 years with a combination of Atlanta and Minnesota.
Mhm.
Um, Somebody who wanted to come up to you and say, "Look, Courtney, I want to do what you do. I want to be a journalist. I want to journal. I want to be able to cover different things and different events and go to different places." What kind of advice would you give that individual?
I would tell them. I know, like most people, it's hard to not repeat it and say, be yourself. But first thing I would say before you start, I would just say comparison is the thief of joy. So do your
Mm,
own thing, work very hard. Because if you just constantly compare, we all do it. And if you're just comparing your work and trying to copy somebody else, it's not going to work out, or you're going to be extra critical because you feel like you can't meet this other standard that somebody else set that you might think is really good. So
right.
I'd say just let that go, work really hard, focus on what you need to do, and also figure out what it is that you want to do, because there's so many different segments of news. We've talked about it. You do sports, I do like hospitality, lifestyle, I'm jumping all over the place in that like kind of realm. But then there's
Right.
people who like to do like, like politics and all these other topics. There's science and, health reporting. So figure out what you want to do and then just kind of hone in on that and then just keep on working at it until you get really good at it.
I like that advice. I really do. You said comparison is the thief of joy. Is that what you said?
Yes, it is.
Wow, wow, I like that. I ain't have nothing to write down, but I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna definitely remember that.
Yeah,
I do.
I
I
did.
really love it.
I did not come up with that phrase. Somebody else said it. I don't know who, and I don't know who said it, so I can't attribute it to them, but like I just love that phrase and I'm constantly telling myself that.
No, that's beautiful. It really is. What is your thoughts on internships? Now, for me,
Mhm.
it's situational because I know from my first internship, I did not get paid for it. I took a mega bus from Atlanta, Georgia to Knoxville, Tennessee, because I did not have a car at the time. And I worked with the Knoxville Ice Bears every single weekend. And I was working Sunday through Thursday at a full time job, but Friday, Saturdays I had off. That's when I would go up to Knoxville and do that. And I wanted to be around the sports environment so bad to work and see how an organization was being ran.
Mhm.
Even though it was an ECHL, a minor league organization, I still wanted to do that. And I wanted to do it a lot. I do understand that there's some people that can't financially afford that. But how do you feel about internships? Do you feel like they should just go ahead and do it regardless, or should they pick and choose based upon their situation?
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think it depends on your situation, kind of like what you mentioned.
Okay.
Some people, they don't have to worry about that. So for me, I grew up in the Bronx. I didn't have any connections. And at least when I did my first like internship at Hofstra, that one was unpaid, but at the same time, it was also virtual. But this was years before the whole world went virtual of COVID.
Right.
It was like
Right.
an entertainment website where we kind of like reported on celebrity news topics and relationships as well.
Yeah.
So that, like, if it filled my requirement, the 3 credits that I needed to graduate for my mandatory internship. And, looking back, because I spent a lot of time there, I do kind of wish that I had jumped around a little bit more so I could have figured out what I wanted to do sooner. And also the longer you kind of stay. So my thinking at the time was, hey, like, people they always say that, like, if you get promoted and your title changes as time goes, like, everybody's going to look at you like, oh, that's great. But at the same time, sometimes, a recruiter can look at you and you kind of get pigeonholed, like, oh, like, this is all you can do. So
Yep.
it took me a little while to, like, to kind of prove myself to others out there that, like, hey, like, I can do like breaking news topics as well. So I do advise trying to do that. But yeah, whether it's paid, unpaid, I don't know. It depends on which organization you get into, because some they pay you anyway, and other ones they don't. So you kind of just have to factor in your own budgeting and what it is you want to do. And hopefully, I don't know, I feel like everything is different because of COVID. So you can work remotely more so than you ever could. But if you want to like work in a TV studio or something like that, or like somewhere else that you actually have to go out into the field, then that's not very practical.
Right. And like you said, I think COVID really opened up our eyes to a lot of different things, and really made us focus in and pay attention on exactly what avenues, even what avenues to go into, right? Because people start doing things on their own. People are sitting at home, coming up with ideas, brainstorming, trying to figure out what to do, and what was their next move going to be. So I totally understand that. Courtney, we've came to the portion of the podcast episode where now we're going to do some this or that. So what
Okay.
that means is I'm going to throw 2 things at you, and you get to choose this or that. Are you with me?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so here we go. The first question, I want to preface this by saying it is a chicken question. Okay, I don't know how much you eat chicken,
I
but
love
this is
chicken.
a chicken.
It's
This is a
okay.
chicken question. Okay, now we've been vibing all episodes, so here we go. All right,
Okay.
Popeyes or KFC?
Okay. I know you like Popeyes because I've watched a couple of your episodes, but I'm gonna
Mhm.
say KFC. But I'm
Mm,
also gonna interject and throw a curveball by saying I'm really a Bojangles girly. So
okay, so fun fact: I never had Bojangles.
really? You were in
Yeah,
Atlanta.
I know. So I've done Popeyes and Chick-fil-A.
Oh wow.
So that was my and Church's Chicken. That's sorry, that was my 3 places that I went, but I never had Bojangles. Do
Oh,
y'all got a Bojangles down there?
we do not. You gotta go a little bit up north. I think if yeah, probably Georgia, you could definitely find them in different parts. But Florida, they don't have it. And I need somebody to franchise one down here ASAP.
You ain't never lied on that. Now, come on now. Okay, well that's what's up. Listen, I like KFC now, but Popeyes and that chicken sandwich and them crispy tenders, they something different. They something different. No question. Okay, here we go. Chicken wing flavors, barbecue or lemon pepper.
Barbecue.
Do you like your wings wet or dry?
What?
Okay. Do you like bone in or boneless?
I'm gonna say boneless because I'm not paying for the bone.
Because you don't want to pay for the bone. That's what you said.
Yeah, you gotta maximize your money.
I feel that. Listen, hey, listen. You don't have to win me over. I love me some boneless chicken barbecue wings for sure. I love that. Yes, we vibing right now, Courtney. We vibing. I like this. Here we go. Which sport would you rather play, badminton or bowling?
I love that you asked this question because I legitimately love badminton.
Okay, okay. So I just want to let you know, Courtney, I'm pretty good at badminton. I'm just saying, I'm pretty good.
Okay. Well, when
I'm
you're
pretty
down
good.
here in Miami,
Pretty
you
good.
can play.
I'm pretty good. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but toot
Okay.
toot. That's all I'm saying.
It's been a couple
Okay.
years for me, but literally I was talking to my husband and another man yesterday at like the bar because we were talking about sports and they mentioned tennis and I'm like, I'm not a good tennis player, but I can like do badminton. And they're like, what is badminton? And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Oh no, he can't say that. He can't do that.
Exactly. I thought everybody played it in elementary school.
I certainly did. I know I did. I played it multiple times. You played it not only in elementary, but high school too. Played in the high school gym as well. No question. Okay, here we go. Which sport would you rather watch on TV? Basketball or football?
Basketball.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, I like that. I like that. These next four have to do with music concerts you rather attend. So
Okay.
here we go. Which music concert would you rather go to? Would you rather go see J. Cole or Big Sean?
Big Sean.
I like that. I like that. Okay. Which concert would you rather go see? Would you rather go see Jay-Z or Nas?
That's a hard. I
It's a
think
New York one for you right here.
no, right? I think Nas.
Okay. Wow. Look at you, Courtney, going against the grain. I like that.
Trying
Okay.
my hardest.
Which concert would you rather go see? Brandy or Monica? I'm gonna tap into your R&B.
Brandy.
Okay, okay. I like that. Which concert would you rather attend? Would you rather go see Janet Jackson or Whitney Houston?
Ooh, Whitney.
You know what? That's the only one that we have disagreed on. I would see Janet, but can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with either one. You really can't.
Can't.
I like that. Okay, here we go. Do you like desserts?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so you already know what time it is. I'm about to say four categories. You got to choose one you'll never eat again. So here we go. First one is cookies. So that's any type of cookie. The second one is cake. That's any type of cake. Could be pound cake. Don't matter. The
Hmm.
third one is candy. And the last one is ice cream. Which one are you getting rid of that you'll never eat again?
I will say cake.
Oh, Courtney. Oh.
Cookies are my thing, so that was not going out. Like
I,
anybody who
I agree with that. I agree with that.
yeah.
Okay, okay. And ice cream. What's your favorite ice cream?
Oh, I love so many. I'm obsessed with pistachio ice cream right now. So
Okay, so another fun fact, cannot eat nuts.
you're allergic?
Yeah,
Oh no, okay.
yeah, I cannot, but that's okay. That's all right. That means that's more nuts for you, more pistachios for you. That's all that matters.
There are other flavors.
Right. I'm a cookies and cream guy, so I like cookies and
Classic.
absolutely, definitely. Okay. Do you like potato chips?
Somewhat, but
Okay.
more into
o-
sweets.
Okay. Here we go. I'm gonna name four brands. You got to get rid of one of these brands, and one of the brands is not Cheetos. Okay. So here we go. First one is gonna be Ruffles. The second one is gonna be Doritos. The third one is going to be Lay's. The last one is going to be Pringles. Which one are you getting rid of that you'll never eat again?
I feel like you're not gonna like my answer, but Doritos. I've never liked them. I don't know why. I just don't. Everybody has the same reaction.
You said you never liked them? Oh,
Never.
oh, Courtney. Oh my goodness. Okay,
I told you I'm a
we're going
picky eater.
we're going to have to stick to the steak and the Italian food.
Yeah,
That's we're going to have to stick to that. That's all right. That's okay. I'm with you on that. I would have got rid of Lay's. Um, yes, I would have got rid of Lay's. But are you a salt and vinegar person? Do you like those kind of chips?
No, I'm too
Okay.
sensitive. My mom loves it, and every time I try it, my face just like scrunches up. I can't handle it.
Well, shout out to Courtney's mom, but Courtney's mom, that's the second worst chip ever made. I'm just going to tell you that right now. There is no, that is not good. The first chip is Funyuns. Whoever made Funyuns, they need to not make them no more. Those are nasty, straight up, no question. Okay, I like that. You did pretty good on this or that. You did. You did a wonderful job. Okay, so this next question I have for you is, if you wasn't a journalist, right? If that wasn't your career path, what career path would you have chosen to do and why?
Mm. Oh yeah, I think there are two different paths I could have gone down. And that's like the marketing advertising side, just because we kind of sometimes it overlaps with journalism depending on the type that you do. And I originally
Yeah.
started in the magazine world, so
Yep.
there was way more overlap that way. But other than that, I think I could have been like a media lawyer because, as you know, as a journalist, the copyrights are super important and nobody wants
Mhm.
to get sued. And at least in our job, we're kind of like the first line of defense. So I'm very familiar with that. And yes, sometimes I have these like debates or even talk to actual lawyers. And I'm like, yeah, this is something else I could have done.
Absolutely. I totally see you as a lawyer. I would not want to be opposed to you. I would not because I feel like you as a lawyer, you would be so diligent in your just your research and being that ready for the competition to be able to do that. I'll be like, man, I'm fried. I'm not gonna do well, man. That's the kind of mindset that I would have for real. So I certainly see you doing something like that for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I want to ask you about covering events. For me, like, what is your bucket list of top four of events that you would like to cover? Like for me, for instance, for example, Super Bowl, Olympic, NBA Finals, and probably a World Series. I would love to do that and cover those events because that would just be so epic for me to do. What is a bucket list of four events that you would like to cover?
Mm. Oh, uh-oh. Looks like my little light just died. It's okay. Technical difficulty. Hopefully the lighting isn't too bad right now.
No,
Oh,
you look fabulous. You still look fabulous. No question.
thank you.
You're very welcome.
Awesome. But okay, so I think I would Olympics, just like you. I think a royal wedding would be very interesting.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
those seem to be pretty rare. I think I had just graduated when Meghan Markle got married. So who knows who the next one's gonna be.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, two more. I'm struggling here.
Would you want to do any kind of red carpet event like Grammys, billboards, or anything
Yeah,
like that?
yeah, let's throw in the Grammys
Okay.
and something else. Think maybe a tech event. Let's throw that in there. Something like, I don't know if like Apple, but like those big trade shows where you see the robots going around.
I could totally see you doing that. I was gonna say election for you. Would you want to do something of election?
No, it's not really my thing.
Okay,
I
okay.
I enjoy watching the debates and stuff like that, but it's just I feel like to do that, you just have to really be on top of your game and know everything. Yeah, it's a little too high pressure for me.
I feel you on that. Totally do. I would say honorable mention for me is a national championship game. Doesn't matter if it's football or basketball. I would love to do something like that. That would be absolutely amazing. Uh, we talked about you giving advice to someone. What is some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to?
Mm, good advice. I think is just make sure that you're right, pretty much. The fact checking is so important.
Right.
And so, like before this, I had worked at a giant, like a national publication. I won't say their name right now. But we would have millions of readers at any given time. So
Sure.
if you're ever wrong, you'd find out really, really quick. And so I think it just made me a better fact checker and, just double, triple reconfirming, like, when I reach out to sources, like even, when you get a press release, even sometimes you'll be surprised, like you'll read it over and then you'll like ask a question and you'll find out, oh, like, I understood it wrong, or they might have written the wrong thing. This didn't make sense. So yeah, just gotta be right.
Absolutely. Prior to me going freelance, there was a situation where somebody was coming on board to the publication and they went and covered a baseball game. And I had been there for a few months. I had ingrained myself into the community as you do as a reporter, covering your beat. And this new guy came in, and I told him, "Hey, listen, you're new. It's best that you go up and introduce yourself. Get familiar with the people around here. People love their sports, especially in these smaller towns.
Mhm.
So you want to be able to do that." He wrote an article, but he misquoted.
Mm.
And the first thing that I told him, I said, "Look, man, it's a simple mistake, and it's something that I know you didn't intentionally mean to do, but at the same time, you have to understand that without sources and credibility, we're shot as journalists. Uh,
Mhm.
we don't have it. We're not going to be very good journalists, and nobody's going to want to talk to us. So without sources and our credibility, we're shot. You have no chance. So you gotta, like you said, fact check. You gotta be able to make sure you quote accurately
Mhm.
and be right. And that's one of the things that I always try to tell kids up here that want to do journalism, not only to try everything, but make sure that you're right with the things that you do, with the
Yeah.
things you write, the things that you say. Never ever quote anybody if they didn't say that.
Mhm.
Because that's not good journalism, but that's journalism 101. Of just some wisdom that I try to pass to the high schoolers and the college kids that I do out here as well. So I do like that. I like that advice.
Yeah.
Very
Even as you say that, you're reminding me of all the times like I've like looked into things because you get assignments and so on. And there's been times
absolutely.
that like I looked in deeper, because we kind of like I don't say we operate on a quota, but some publications and platforms you kind of do. And
Hmm.
so like when you have to be the bearer of bad news, it's like, hey, like what you assigned me is actually a fake story. This seems to be like a prank, and here's XYZ. I uncovered all this stuff.
Hmm.
They're like, okay, like fine, don't do it. But like they kind of grumble it. They're upset that you figured it out when they just wanted you to like put out the story. But I was like, hey, if this went out the way it was, like we were gonna be in big trouble.
And so many people, Courtney, are enamored with being first instead of being
Hmm.
accurate, especially in our business. They want to be first to it. They want to break the news, and I get it. It's great to break news, no question about it. But it's not to me. It's never been important to be first. It's important to be accurate, right? I would love to be first and accurate, as all of
Hmm.
us want to, but I want to be accurate first. No
Exactly.
question about that. And I love that you said that. And it's so tough because in sports, there's a winner, there's a loser. We do feature stories as well, but when you're doing like writing stuff on like news and court stuff and stuff like that, sometimes you got to dig, like you said, in the public records. You got to go beyond just the scope of things, and it to me it's very difficult and tough to do that genre more so than sports. Because in sports, yeah, you dig, but you just don't dig like you would any other type of story. Um,
Mhm.
Let me ask you, has there ever been a time where you've done a story, where you've written about a story where it was a hard news story that you took home with you? It was just a tragic story that you did that you took home with you.
Mm, I don't think I don't there's none I can think of right now. And I think I've been kind of fortunate being in like the lifestyle space for so long because it's kind of more lighthearted news. But there's some lifestyle stories that do hit home and like kind of like break your heart, especially when it concerns like the death of a family member or even a family member who's like, some of them are terminal. So like, an example of like one story that was assigned to me was this woman who was trying on wedding dresses because her mom has like a terminal cancer diagnosis, and she was doing that. She's completely single, but she was doing that so her mom could have that experience because she's likely not going to be there when she like actually does get married.
Right.
And stories like that. And then like, there was a time I even interviewed a married couple. They both celebrated their 100-year birthday. Um
Wow.
yeah, it was amazing. And they had been married for like over 70 years. And the husband, he was able to speak to me, take the interview, but his wife, she was there, but she was like nonverbal because she was battling dementia. But their love story was like so beautiful. It touched my heart, made me like kind of cry. And then a couple months later, they passed away. And that really like, I took that to heart, even though they weren't my actual family, but it was just like, I felt like I knew them because, they had submitted photos. I captured their story and like I saw them grow up throughout the years, and it was tough.
Absolutely. That's the one thing, the A side of doing this. When you really get those people that you sit down, you talk to, you write about, you feel like that you're building an interpersonal relationship with them, and you're writing these wonderful stories. There's no better feeling in my mind, Courtney, when I'm driving to the grocery store or to a gas station, I'm pumping gas, and people telling me, "I really appreciate the story that you wrote in the newspaper, in the publication," right? But and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this podcast. Is not just tell the A side, but also the B side. And the
Mhm.
B side is sometimes with the hours, it can be tough. It can be tough to get to those deadlines. You know about the deadlines, so do I, right? Sports are nights and weekends. We got a late deadline. Sometimes you have an early deadline, right? Sometimes it's hard to hang out with people. At least for me myself, I'm a bachelor. Don't nobody want to hang out with me at 12 o'clock midnight on Tuesday. When you're getting off, it's rough, right? So it's rough to find friends to be able to have that same kind of schedule that you have.
Mhm.
It's also people don't also understand uh, the help that we get, right? They see you writing these stories, they see your name behind it, but we actually do get help. We get a lot of help. It takes a lot of hard work to do what we do because we love what we do, but it's not easy work. Sometimes people just get enamored, especially broadcast people. Not so much publication, but broadcast people. They see you on TV. They want to be that person on TV reporting the news, and they don't understand that what goes into that. And that's another reason why I wanted to have a podcast like this. Like, listen, there's days where it's beautiful, but it's also crazy too. Like you miss holidays, you miss times with your family, you miss a lot of events. And if you're prepared to do that, that's a beautiful thing. It's wonderful because you're chasing after your dream. But you need to know that's exactly what's going to transpire. You're going to work crazy type of hours. You're going to miss those holidays, those celebrations, those graduations, those times with families. Christmas and Thanksgiving is going to be tough for you to do unless you're in the same city and state with your family. Um, so that's why I do what I do for sure, and why I do this platform on here.
Amazing. I love hearing that. And just, it's great to relate to somebody who kind of actually knows what we're going through pretty much.
Absolutely, no question. It's lovely talking to you as well. We are almost coming to the end, Courtney. So now I got rapid fire. So what the first thing that comes to your mind, I want you to just let me know what it is, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go. Burgers or tacos?
Tacos,
Pancakes or waffles?
waffles,
What's your favorite color?
purple,
Favorite board game?
checkers,
Favorite card game?
Uno.
I love that.
Yeah.
Favorite alcoholic drink?
Ooh, gin and tonic right now.
Oh, okay. I like that. That's what's up. Favorite non-alcoholic drink?
Green juice.
Okay. If there was three songs that you can consistently put on repeat and never get tired of listening to, what would those three songs be?
Ooh, that is a good question. Right now, Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish is just on repeat all the time.
Mhm.
What is that new Bruno Mars song with Lady Gaga? It's
I,
not
I know you're talking about, is it Just a Smile or Just with a
yeah,
Smile? I believe.
yeah, something like Die, something like that, or like Die in Your Arms. I can't remember.
I know what you're talking about. That's pretty good. Pretty good
Yeah,
song.
yeah, that one, it's just, I feel like social media plays a factor in it. Like they just have the trending songs and you hear it and you're like, okay, I gotta throw it on the playlist.
Sure.
All right. And then let's see. I think, I don't know, let's throw in Doja Cat and Agora Hills.
I feel you on that. A song that's on repeat of mine of Billie Eilish is "When the Party Is Over."
Yeah.
I really like that song. I do. I do. That one and "Bad Guy" for Billie Eilish.
Oh
Those
yeah.
those two are my favorite ones
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
think that one's like probably one of the best.
I love that song. I really do. What is Uh, What is your favorite fruit?
Ooh, fruit. That's a good question. There's so many, but I guess I will go strawberry.
Got you. If you had a choice to continue writing for the journal or go in front of the camera one day, which one would you do?
Ooh, I feel like I'm not supposed to say right now. But I will say well, not kind, I want to do the on-camera work because that's probably the last field of journalism I haven't explored enough. And I guess it's between that and radio. I haven't done enough of the broadcast portion of news. So I think I am on track to test that out, see if it's for me. I'm just trying to find my permanent home pretty much.
I got you. I got you. Now, this is going to be a tough one. And I certainly can see you in front of the camera, by the way. The camera will love you. No question. Miami or New York? Which city would you want to, I would say vacation in? How about that? Miami or New York?
Oh, okay. Vacation. I mean, I guess I'll say New York because my family's still there and I'll vacation there. But people they're so silly down here. They're like, I live where you vacation in Miami.
Hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm actually going to New York next February. So
Okay.
next, for the end of January, next February, actually going to New York City. That is around my birthday time. So I'm definitely going to be able to go there and hang out with family, but also see the Knicks. I've never been to Madison Square Garden before, so that is on my bucket list.
You're gonna have fun.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I always end my last question with this, and that is there anything else, Courtney, you would like to add before we conclude?
Yeah, I just, there's some projects I'm working on behind the scenes and I'm really excited about it. I'm gonna upload them soon. So everybody, if you're interested, just stay tuned. And I promise like my little light won't die on me during that. but but it's okay.
No, this has been a really dope conversation. I love the fact that I can come on here and talk to different journalists and hear from their perspective of how they came into the industry, and also get to know them a little bit as well. You're a badminton queen, from what I've heard. That's what's up. And you also have the same aspirations as far as covering events as I do. You gave great advice on here, Courtney, and I really am a new fan of yours. I hope and wish nothing but the best for you, your family, out there in Miami as well, and in New York. And please stay in touch. Don't be a stranger, and enjoy the rest of your Friday evening.
Yeah, and thank you for having me. I mean, your podcast is inspiring me. I'm like over 100 episodes. How do you have the time and energy?
It's something that I just love doing. I love meeting new people. I love talking like this because people inspire me, and people are so inspiring. Each and every time that I get on an episode, I learn something new. So please, keep inspiring me. Keep doing what you do. Keep doing what you love, and I'm gonna try to do the same. So I really do appreciate it again, Courtney, and we'll talk soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Bye.